Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to Planet and Alien here on YouTube. I am Weird Little Alien Noel. Hello. Now, okay, so I'm going to be talking about Riverdale because there's a few things about Riverdale that are still a little suspicious, and I ain't exactly understanding how we're not getting, like, the final bow that puts everything together, if you know what I mean. Okay, so we all know that the Black Hood storyline ended in episode 21. That is what the writer said, that the Black Hood storyline would end in episode 21. Now, BH, what else does that stand for? Bughead. Just saying. Bughead's over now. I don't even mind them. I'm going to get into them. You'll see. But that's just funny because people were like, oh, people were talking about Bughead and they had BH for Bughead. And I was like, oh, I never really realized, like, Bughead, Black Hood. It's like, what? Shit. Now, okay. So what I wanted to say is, now I know Hal Cooper is the Black Hood. However, we know that he was not the one who shot up the mayor debate. We also know he was not the one who shot Fred the second time. That was Tallboy, or so we're to assume, which I am assuming it is Tallboy. But I don't, you know what? Yeah, we're assuming it's Tallboy. But that's not what gets me. What gets me is that we saw Hal give Alice flowers, right? And you're telling me that everyone else was seen backstage except for Hal. Like, you're telling me he's not going to stand out? Like, a grown-ass man's not going to stand out? Which leads me into Chick. We have yet to find Chick's body. We have yet to. And you know what I think? I feel like, because you know what? I don't think Hal, like, maybe Hal always knew that Charles wasn't his son, or maybe he hoped it was his son. I don't know. But maybe he went looking for Charles and found Chick instead, and they teamed up together to do this takedown sinners, which to me, I am still so upset that how are you going to take out a sinner, Fred, like Fred Andrews, because he's not even a sinner. Like, are you, like, Hermione's the sinner. How do you not go after her instead of Fred? Like, that's what gets me. Like, what the fuck? Like, I loved Black Hood storyline, don't get me wrong. It's just there were so many big sinners that you could have went after, and you went after little shit. And it's like, why? Like, you weren't really making a difference. And were you doing this for Hiram? I don't know. Were you? Because really, what difference were you really making? Oh, killing the sinners. But you weren't even killing the biggest sinners of them all. The ones that deserve to be killed, if anything. Because, I mean, hello, Hiram Lodge is destroying Riverdale, which you don't care. You're in a fucking prison cell behind a fucking glass, plastic, whatever, plexiglass or whatever it's called. You're behind that, so whatever, which is super cool because it reminds me of like Hannibal, and when Clarice goes to see him and he's like, hello Clarice, which apparently never happened, which is such a lie because I totally remember that happening in Silence of the Lambs. He didn't just say morning, he said hello Clarice. Mandela effect, people, I'm giving you right here. Now, but okay, so like I was saying, so we've seen him give the flowers to Alice, which is, it is perfect that we saw him, so we knew he was there. And also, it kind of gives him an alibi. Well, he's right there giving her flowers, and then he went back to sit down. So, you know. So what gets me is, Sheriff Keller was, for seemingly no reason at all, behind the curtain. Like, he was backstage for no reason at all. I mean, he didn't even stop to talk to Kevin. He just, like, kind of patted him and kept on walking, which is, to me, very odd. I don't understand why he was back there. I mean, it didn't make any sense, and it was never explained why he was back there. I mean, he didn't, like, know about these Black Hood threats, so, like, I don't understand why he was back there. So that's one thing that still gets me, is why Sheriff Keller was back there. And think how easy it would for a sheriff to, well, he wasn't, well, was he sheriff? Yeah, he was still sheriff at the time, because it wasn't until Midge died that he was not sheriff. But how easy would it be for him as sheriff to have Midge follow him somewhere and kill her? Just saying, it's very easy as a sheriff to say, hey, you need to come with me real quick. But still, someone would see it, right? Like, unless you went to the bathroom and that's when they sprung on her, was when she went to the bathroom, maybe. Because that's what I'm thinking. Because how do you get her and kill her with no one seeing? Like, that's what gets me about Hal. No one's seen him backstage. You're telling me that no one seen him backstage, but they seen Chick, they seen, well, Sheriff Keller was just a given, because we seen him. I mean, they even seen Fangs talking to Midge, and then figuring out those two were hooking up, and then, you know, all of a sudden he's the murderer, which is just mind-boggling. But I mean, no one saw Hal back there, and that's someone you would see. And how do you get Midge to you so you can kill her. I mean, there's all these people around. It's so mind-boggling. So it's like, we didn't, like, it's very possible that Hal was back there and it just wasn't shown. But it's just like, no one saw him. And you're telling me no one's going to see a grown-ass man, especially Hal, Betty's dad, but who was backstage was Chick. And we also saw Chick sitting in his chair, all creepy, smiling when Midge's body was, well, exposed and put on display for everyone to see. And they all ran and freaked out and screamed. And Chick is just sitting there. And this was meant to be shown for a reason. Him just sitting there all creepy, smiling. I think he's a little involved with the Black Hood because we never found his body. And he was backstage. Like, we seen him backstage. And I mean, he is around Midge's age, so it's not hard to convince her to come with him or, like, start talking to her and then, you know, lead her somewhere or say, hey, I'm Betty's brother, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's not hard for him to get her to wherever she needs to go to be murdered, basically, unless she was in the bathroom and that's when they, like, struck. Because I don't understand how they did it behind scenes. But Chick is, it's just, what gets me is that we've never found Chick's body. We haven't heard of Chick since. That makes, it's just a little too odd for me because I feel like we would have found Chick's body by now. I just feel like we would have, but I think he's still alive. I think his story's not done with. I think he's still alive. I think, like, it just gets me that he was backstage. He had opportunity to do it. We saw him and stuff. Hal Cooper we did not see. So unless he was just very sneaky, I don't understand how, like, that just boggles my mind. Is we had Sheriff Keller back there for seemingly no reason. He was just, like, walking. He wasn't even really talking to anybody. It was just weird. He was walking. He walked to the back. Then we have Chick back there, and we have Hal in the front giving flowers to Alice, and it's kind of like, how hard would it be for Chick to help Hal kill Midge? Because if you think about it, I mean, maybe it was more than one person. Maybe Chick lured her away or something, or got her away, and then Hal came and they killed her together. Because, I mean, no one heard her scream, nothing. Like, that's also another thing. Oh, maybe they drugged her, like chloroform, like knocked her out. But then she would have woke up screaming. Like, see, that's what gets me, like, how they did this. I just can't understand. Like, I know that it's easy for Hal to be backstage. For all we know, he was backstage. We just didn't know it. But you're telling me everyone was accounted for, and everyone that was backstage was shown backstage and was told to be backstage and was questioned for being backstage, but no one saw Hal Cooper. No one saw the Black Hood. No one saw Midge go off with anyone. No one saw Midge get stabbed into the freaking back of the thing. No one heard her scream. Like, that just so boggles my mind. But I know that Hal's the Black Hood, but I feel like, and I know the storyline they said is over with, but I feel like there's more to it than that. I don't know. Like, I just feel like it was so weird how we never found Chick's body and how he was sitting there so creepy when Midge's body was exposed and everyone's screaming. He's just sitting there creepy, smiling like he had something to do with it. And, I mean, it's not far-fetched to think maybe him and Hal are working together. It's not very far-fetched. Maybe Hal went looking for Charles, his son, or so he thought. Maybe he really thought maybe it is his son. Maybe he didn't truly believe fully that it was FPs, I don't know. And maybe he stumbled across Chick and they teamed up. I don't know. But I feel like since we haven't found his body, I feel like there's something else going on here. Like, unless we just happen to find his body next season, which, I mean, I guess we could. But it just, I don't know. There's a lot of potholes in this Black Hood thing. I just think it's odd that Chick's body was never found. Like, and even if he wasn't caught, it's like, I don't know. I just feel like there would be some explanation. I feel like the writers are leaving stuff out, maybe to explore later on, or they're just kind of leaving it out for you to just, you know, take your own opinion from it, take your own take on it, whatever you want to say, you know. But I'm like, hello, like, how the fuck does this happen? Like, Midge's death is definitely something that, how did that happen backstage, and no one heard her screaming? Like, you know, like, it makes me think there was two people involved, because you think about it, you would need, well, I guess the person, Black Hood, could have killed her and then put her on the thing, which is probably what he did, but it makes you think, maybe he needs two people, like, he needs another person to help. Like, I don't know, I feel like Chick's involved somehow. Sorry, I'm getting into this, but something about Chick, like, his body has not been found, so I'm not ruling him out as being dead until I actually see his fucking body. But they say the Black Hood storyline is over with. It just doesn't feel over with. I know the Hiram and the hiring the Black Hood storyline with the Archie isn't over yet, because that's going into season 3, because, of course, you know, Hiram tried to have Archie's dad killed. So, of course, you know, that's going to be the battle. And tried to make it look like it was the Black Hood. So I know that's going into season 3. So I know that Black Hood kind of storyline isn't over with, that whole Hiram, Archie, Black Hood situation. But the one with Hal apparently is, but I just don't think it is. Also, I mean, I'm guessing we're going to see Hal again because Polly is fucking nuts. Like, she's creepy as fuck. Like, honestly, yes, Betty has a darkness in her. She does. She has a darkness in her. But Polly, I don't know. Like, Polly seems psychotic. Like, I feel like, ooh, I get chills when I just remember that scene of her, like, sipping the tea and she's just like, and it's just like, oh my God, you're so creepy. Like, we all know she's basically in a cult now, and whoever this fucking guy is that can help Alice, probably the cult leader, she's trying to get the whole family into this fucking cult. Oh, I'm sorry, the farm. Like, wow. I think Polly already was a little messed up from the whole Jason situation, and I'm pretty sure she has some darkness in her, but now being in a cult, she's gotten like 10 times more creepier, and I don't know, there's just, I feel like it wouldn't be Betty to follow in Hal's footsteps. I feel like it'd be Polly. Like, I see the darkness within Polly. I see the creepiness within Polly. I see Polly having no problem killing people. Like, Betty, she, has a problem with that. Because Polly, it's like, there's no emotions there. It's honestly like her soul has been ripped out and she's just a body. And she talks and everything, but there's just nothing really there that is like a person, She's in a cult. So basically she's brainwashed, but not really because she believes all this shit and this is stuff she wants to believe. She's clearly a little messed up in the head and the cult's only making it worse. But I think if anyone was to follow in Hal's footsteps, it would be Polly. And I don't think Hal's really opening his eyes to that because Polly definitely would follow in his footsteps way before Betty would, I think, because Polly definitely has some darkness in her and she's definitely getting on the psychotic level of fucking just creepy, man. Like, she's in a cult. Don't trust her. Like, she creepy. No, but yeah. So I definitely could see that. So I wonder, that'd be interesting to see next season. Because Polly, I'm sure, is going to be in next season too. Because, I mean, there's more to her story. Of course, she's in a cult. Like, hello. And she's creepy as fuck. Like, oh my God. This show, people are just, like, getting creepier and creepier. Okay, I wanted to talk about Bughead and Archie. What? Me? Bughead? Archie? No. I am not going to diss them. Calm down. I'm not here to diss. Honestly, I love Betty Cooper, right? I love Jughead Jones. Do I love them together? No. Do I love Veronica and Archie together? No. Do I love Archie? Yes. Do I love Veronica? Yes. Does that mean I want them together? No. I see the appeal to Bughead. Now, I do see, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Bughead is that first love kind of situation. I don't feel like Bughead is meant to last, I mean, especially, I know that they're going to break up at some point. The triangle's going to start. Archie and Betty are going to start. That kind of thing. It's going to progress through the seasons. But even in the end, I don't feel like they'll end up together because I just feel like Betty and Jughead are alike, but that doesn't mean they should be together just because they are alike because of the darkness they both have in them, which it is a different kind of darkness. I mean, yes, Jughead has a darkness, but Betty, her darkness is a little more inner demon kind of thing, whereas Jughead can have his dark moments, which is super hot. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, when he did that thing to Penny, not saying I liked when he was, like, cutting it off or whatever, like, it went down there, but I'm just saying, like, when he flipped out the knife and had that look, I was like, oh, whew, whew. I mean, what? No. But, yeah, I feel like with Bughead, I just feel like that's the first love kind of thing. I feel like that's not going to be her forever love. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just don't. Yes, they share a brother. I mean, that's a given. They do share a brother. And you can call it incest. You can call it whatever you want. I don't really call it incest, even though if I knew that I shared a brother with my boyfriend, I would be like, ew, I'm not. Like, I don't know, I would just be a little grossed out because I would think of my parents and his dad and my mom and, no, I would just not be for it. But they don't know. I wonder if they knew, would they break up because of it or would they just keep on dating? I feel like I would break up. Like, what would you guys do? Would you guys break up or would you continue dating since you don't actually share DNA, you just share a brother? You tell me, because I don't care about DNA or any of that shit. I ain't dating someone who I share a brother with. Plus, I ain't dating someone who his dad and my mom are getting together eventually. So, that's another thing. I mean, FP and Alice are eventually going to get together, and I'm not saying Bughead can't be together because they're together, and I'm not saying that's why I want FP and Alice together, because I know a lot of people think because I want FP and Alice together, it's because I want Bughead to break up. But just because they get together doesn't really mean Bughead is going to break up. I mean, that's not a given. We don't really know. I don't see that being the reason why they break up. I see it being another reason. I mean, I just feel like Bughead, it isn't meant to last. Like I've said in other videos, Varchi and Bughead were promoted so much in the first 2 seasons because those were the main couples. Those were, the original couples. Those were the couples for those seasons. I think once we start getting into more of the triangle and more of Choni and Phallus, and we start getting into more of Reggie and Josie maybe, and Jughead and Veronica's friendship, I think once we get more into that, then it won't focus so much on just Bughead and Varchi as couple and as, partners and doing stuff together. Because at the beginning of, like, I have to say, I dislike Varchi so much. Like, I see it as a total sex thing. Like, I just see it as, a sexual relationship. However, I will say towards the end of season 2, I did see, I see the love they have for each other. I do. And I do see that Veronica, even though most of beginning of season 2, I really, really, really disliked her, and Archie too, I still, of course, love them both, and I still, see Veronica as a good person, like, I know she is a good person. It proved that towards the end of season 2, that she is a good person, and it's just sometimes you get caught up in hating them for the decisions they're making, but eventually they come back around. But Veronica and Archie, over season 2, they have gotten a lot better at not being so sexual, but that's not to say that Archie also hasn't been put through a lot since being with Veronica and being involved with her family. So that's another thing. If Veronica and Archie are really good for each other, like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Camila even said that it would be interesting if Veronica and Archie broke up in season 3, which I think she's hinting at something, because I guarantee they break up in season 3. Like, I truly believe the triangle starts in season 3. Like, I feel like it's the best time to start the triangle. Like, I just feel like that would be the time to start it, is season 3. Because season 1 and season 2 was focused so much on killer people, like, who killed Jason Blossom and who's killing the sinners. And now it's going to be about Hiram and Archie and his father and the shooting and the Black Hood. But also I feel like the triangle is going to be slowly put in there, and the other couples hopefully will get more screen time, like Choni, because everyone wants that. Like I said, though, I think the writers, I don't think I choose to believe they're not playing favorites. I just think that they knew that Bughead and Varchi are going to end eventually, and the triangle is going to start, and all these other couples are going to start. So that meant that season 1 and season 2, they were going to promote it as much as they can. But I truly believe that season 3 will start kind of anew, not so much Bughead and Varchi, maybe at first, but not so much as we continue on. And I definitely think we'll get, hopefully we'll explore more into other things other than Bughead and Varchi. I just think that Bughead and Varchi is eventually going to dissipate. Like, I mean, they could still be friends. Betty and Jughead, Archie and Veronica, of course they're still going to be friends just because they break up, doesn't mean they're not going to be friends. But, yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. What else? I will say, however, so that's what I think about Bughead and Varchi. That's why I think the writers promoted them so much. And I hope that when it comes season 3 and other couples are put in the spotlight, hopefully, and the triangle starts, hopefully, then I think they'll actually start promoting that a lot more. Because they did promote Varchi here and there, not really much at all, little bits and pieces. Sorry. Which, I mean, hello, we're here. We're loud and clear. Can you give us something? Oh, yeah, like the Barchi duet. Like, how can't we get, like, we can't get the Barchi duet? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I know you, like, I heard you made it. Like, I'm talking to Roberto. He's not even watching this. But you know what? I want the Barchi duet. Okay, I understand. Yes, Veronica and Archie. Veronica and Betty, I wanted them to make up. It was an awesome scene. They made up. But that doesn't mean we can't get the Barchi duet. Why do you have to punish us? You gave us the Choni deleted scene, which... But where's the Barchi, man? Like, I want the Barchi deleted duet. I want the duet. I need to see it. Like, could you imagine? If they don't release it, like, I'm going to be so like, I'm gonna just not even know what to do. Because I feel like maybe they're waiting until the DVD comes out and it's gonna be like a bonus or deleted scenes. But why can't you just release it now? Because what if you don't do that and then you never do it? And it's like, why won't you just do it? If you filmed the duet but didn't use it, just let us see it. We don't care how bad or good it is. We just want to see it. Just saying. But yeah. So I love. So I hope season 3 brings a Jughead and Veronica friendship. I really, really hope it does. Like, man, that is I think that's my #1 wish. Of course, I want Barchi to happen, but I know that's going to take time. That's another thing. I think the writers know what they're doing with Archie and Betty. I think they're taking their time because they don't want to rush it, because I feel like that's the couple that's going to be endgame. I feel like the writers want to do it the right way and portray it in the way that the characters would do it, because these are two best friends and they have such a history that we're going to find more and more out as we go along. So I definitely think the writers are being very smart with Archie and Betty. Yes, it does suck. We don't get many scenes. We get misled a lot. But I really do believe that they're trying to do justice to Archie and Betty, and that's why they're kind of taking them extremely slow, unlike Bughead and Varchie, which kind of happened quickly and became I love you very fast by the end of the season, and all crazy shit followed with it, you know? So I feel like with Barchi, they're trying to just build up to there and do it the right way for the characters and, you know, for the story. But Jughead and Veronica, I want them to be friends so bad. Like, I know in season 3, like, apparently Jellybean's supposed to come into the scene. Like, she's supposed to come in. And apparently, well, not apparently, but in the comics, Veronica and Jellybean have a friendship. And I would give anything for Veronica to bond with Jellybean and bond with Jughead. Like, I want a Jughead and Veronica friendship. Of course I want them together. I ship them so fucking hard. Oh my god. But I want a friendship so bad. Like, I so badly want a friendship. Like, I hope we get a fucking friendship. Please. Yes, I want Barchi, but I want a friendship. Jughead and Veronica. Honestly, this is my thing. Like, I feel like, Barchi, Veronica, Phallus, Choni, those are the endgame couples. Maybe even Fred and Hermione, because I'm totally down for them getting back together. I know some of you might be like, no, Hermione's a bad person. But we gotta wait till next season, because I want to see what she's going to do with her position as mayor, because I don't think she's going to be playing Hiram's game anymore. So I want to see, because I hope she's sticking up for herself now, and I don't want her running his dirty laundry through her fucking mayor shit. Like, no, no, no. Do it the right way, Hermione. And I think she is. I think she is. She's opening her eyes. Thanks to Veronica. She's opening her eyes because, I mean, he doesn't care about anybody but himself, which is Hiram Lodge. Not a really surprise there. And I mean, once people find out that he tried to have Fred shot, that's going to be a big thing. Like, holy shit. Because, you know, no one knows except for Archie and... Well, Archie and Fred know it was Tallboy, but Archie knows it was because of Hiram, who actually, you know, had Tallboy shoot out his dad, which Fred doesn't know. So Hiram and Archie are kind of the only ones knowing right now. So I definitely think that's interesting. What was I going to say? Yeah, so that is what I wanted to say about Riverdale. Sorry, I was rambling on, but just a few little things I want to say, because a few little things that were just kind of left out. Also, you know, that you had that moment with me and my girl Kimberly were talking about this and on Twitter, and in that diner scene, he had the gun pointed at Archie's head, and he could have easily shot him, Hal, but he didn't. Now, that's okay. Like, that makes sense, because really Archie's not a sinner. I mean, yes, he did hook up with his teacher, but his teacher's the sinner in this situation, not an underage kid. Plus, he is 16. I mean, it would be kind of, well, he did shoot Moose and Midge, but he didn't do any sin. So I could see why he didn't kill him. And I mean, he does have a history with the kid. I mean, his daughter's best friends with them. He's known him since I'm sure he was like 4, just like Betty has. But that's very interesting. He didn't shoot him, which it makes sense because, I mean, Archie isn't really a sinner. Now, cutting Jughead and Veronica out of her life was interesting. Because if you didn't like Veronica Lodge, don't you think it would be because of her parents? And don't you think you would want to go after them as the Black Hood? That's what gets me. It's like, why? Like, I can understand Jughead. He's a serpent. You don't like Jughead. You don't want her with Jughead, you know? But, or maybe he just wanted her to feel alone and vulnerable and hopeless and not have anyone around her. Not knowing that she's going to turn to Archie, or maybe he did know that she was going to turn to Archie and that everything was going to unfold the way it did, which I'm about to get into. But, so yeah, so that's what I think about Bughead and Archie. That's why I think the writers promoted them so much. And I hope that when it comes season 3 and other couples are put in the spotlight, hopefully, and the triangle starts, hopefully, then I think they'll actually start promoting that a lot more. Because they did promote Archie here and there, not really much at all, little bits and pieces. Sorry. Which, I mean, hello, we're here. We're loud and clear. Can you give us something? Oh, yeah, like the Barchi duet. Like, how can't we get, like, we can't get the Barchi duet? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I know you, like, I heard you made it. Like, I'm talking to Roberto. He's not even watching this. But you know what? I want the Barchi duet. Okay, I understand. Yes, Veronica and Betty, I wanted them to make up. It was an awesome scene. They made up. But that doesn't mean we can't get the Barchi duet. Why do you have to punish us? You gave us the Choni deleted scene, which... But where's the Barchi, man? Like, I want the Barchi deleted duet. I want the duet. I need to see it. Like, could you imagine? If they don't release it, like, I'm going to be so, like, I'm going to just not even know what to do. Because I feel like maybe they're waiting until the DVD comes out and it's going to be like a bonus or deleted scenes. But why can't you just release it now? Because what if you don't do that? And then you never do it. And it's like, why won't you just do it? If you filmed the duet but didn't use it, just let us see it. We don't care how bad or good it is. We just want to see it. Just saying. But yeah. So I hope season 3 brings a Jughead and Veronica friendship. I really, really hope it does. Like, man, that is I think that's my #1 wish. Of course, I want Barchi to happen, but I know that's going to take time. That's another thing. I think the writers know what they're doing with Archie and Betty. I think they're taking their time because they don't want to rush it, because I feel like that's the couple that's going to be endgame. I feel like the writers want to do it the right way and portray it in the way that the characters would do it, because these are two best friends and they have such a history that we're going to find more and more out as we go along. So I definitely think the writers are being very smart with Archie and Betty. Yes, it does suck. We don't get many scenes. We get misled a lot. But I really do believe that they're trying to do justice to Archie and Betty, and that's why they're kind of taking them extremely slow, unlike Bughead and Varchi, which kind of happened quickly and became I love you very fast by the end of the season, and all crazy shit followed with it, you know? So I feel like with Barchi, they're trying to just build up to there and do it the right way for the characters and, you know, for the story. But Jughead and Veronica, I want them to be friends so bad. Like, I know in season 3, like, apparently Jellybean's supposed to come into the scene. Like, she's supposed to come in. And apparently, well, not apparently, but in the comics, Veronica and Jellybean have a friendship. And I would give anything for Veronica to bond with Jellybean and bond with Jughead. Like, I want a Jughead and Veronica friendship. Of course I want them together. I ship them so fucking hard. Oh my god. But I want a friendship so bad. Like, I so badly want a friendship. Like, I hope we get a fucking friendship. Please. Yes, I want Barchi, but I want a friendship. Jughead and Veronica. Honestly, this is my thing. Like, I feel like, Barchi, Veronica, Phallus, Choni, those are the endgame couples. Maybe even Fred and Hermione. Because I'm totally down for them getting back together. I know some of you might be like, no, Hermione's a bad person. But we gotta wait till next season, because I want to see what she's going to do with her position as mayor, because I don't think she's going to be playing Hiram's game anymore. So I want to see, because I hope she's sticking up for herself now, and I don't want her running his dirty laundry through her fucking mayor shit. Like, no, no, no. Do it the right way, Hermione. And I think she is. I think she is. She's opening her eyes. Thanks to Veronica. She's opening her eyes because, I mean, he doesn't care about anybody but himself, which is Hiram Lodge. Not a really surprise there. And I mean, once people find out that he tried to have Fred shot, that's going to be a big thing. Like, holy shit. Because, you know, no one knows except for Archie and... Well, Archie and Fred know it was Tallboy, but Archie knows it was because of Hiram, who actually, you know, had Tallboy shoot out his dad, which Fred doesn't know. So Hiram and Archie are kind of the only ones knowing right now. So I definitely think that's interesting. What was I going to say? Yeah, so that is what I wanted to say about Riverdale. Sorry, I was rambling on. But just a few little things I want to say, because a few little things that were just kind of left out. Also, you know, that you had that moment with me and my girl Kimberly were talking about this and on Twitter, and in that diner scene, he had the gun pointed at Archie's head, and he could have easily shot him, Hal, but he didn't. Now, That's okay. Like, that makes sense because really Archie's not a sinner. I mean, yes, he did hook up with his teacher, but his teacher's the sinner in this situation, not an underage kid. Plus, he is 16. I mean, it would be kind of, well, he did shoot Moose and Midge, but he didn't do any sin. So I could see why he didn't kill him. And I mean, he does have a history with the kid. I mean, his daughter's best friends with them. He's known him since I'm sure he was like 4, just like Betty has. But that's very interesting. He didn't shoot him, which it makes sense because I mean, Archie isn't really a sinner. Now, cutting Jughead and Veronica out of her life was interesting. Because if you didn't like Veronica Lodge, don't you think it would be because of her parents? And don't you think you would want to go after them as the Black Hood? That's what gets me. It's like, why? Like, I can understand Jughead. He's a serpent. You don't like Jughead. You don't want her with Jughead, you know? But, or maybe he just wanted her to feel alone and vulnerable and hopeless and not have anyone around her, not knowing that she's going to turn to Archie, or maybe he did know that she was going to turn to Archie and that everything was going to unfold the way it did, which I'm about to get into. Why Hal wanted Betty to cut him out of her life, but Veronica, like, I can understand she's a lodge, and, you know, I can understand that, but it's like, when did you go after her parents if you didn't like her? Because you would have to not like her parents not to like her, because you don't really know her. So, but that's a little, like, that's one thing that got me too, like, I don't know, like, I understand Jughead, and I guess I do understand Veronica. He wants to make her feel alone and vulnerable and have no one, basically, and alienate people from her life. It's just interesting that it was Jughead and Veronica only, those two, because it never was Archie, which is odd. What if it's like Hal's way of saying, you're supposed to be with Archie, get the fuck away from Jughead? No, I'm just saying. It is odd that he never included Archie, but I mean, he didn't include Kevin either, and you think he would, because Kevin's gay, and to him, wouldn't that be a sin? So I'm just saying, like, it would, wouldn't it? That's another thing. Kevin, you know, I'm not calling him a sinner. I mean, he's gay. Who gives a fuck? But to the Black Hood, to Hal Cooper, that's a sin. And yet, you know, he was never targeted. That's interesting, too. But the whole Archie thing, he's never targeted. And then we have Betty and Archie, you know, going to meet the Black Hood, who is really Mr. Sevenson, you know, pretending to be the Black Hood for Hal. And he decides to have Betty bury Archie alive. Now, I don't know if Mr. Sevenson decided this on his own. I don't know if he pissed off the Black Hood Hal Cooper on the phone, and this is what he got. This is the punishment he got in return. Or I don't know if Hal knew that the cops would be showing up, so he set it up knowing that Archie would not be killed. You know, he would not be buried alive, and the cops would either kill or arrest Sevenson, and the Black Hood thing would be over and done with. People would think he's gone. You know, so that's kind of my thoughts around the whole burying him alive. Because it is odd that, you know, he's never been a target, and then all of a sudden it's like he's having him buried alive. But don't forget, he just, like, really badmouthed the Black Hood on the phone beforehand. So, of course, that's going to piss Hal off. Or, yeah, because it was Hal. So, I think that either Hal got mad and, like I said, had Sevenson bury him, have Betty bury him alive. Also, it would really mess with Betty's mind, you know, having to bury her best friend alive. Like, that would, like, fuck her up, especially if she actually had to go through with it and keep doing it. But I think maybe Hal knew that the cops were going to come. I'm pretty sure he knew because Betty, of course, I'm sure he knows everything about what Betty's doing, so he knew that she probably called the cops. I think he knew what was going to happen, so he set it up that way, knowing that Archie wouldn't be killed and that Sevenson would most likely be killed. I think that's how he set it up. I don't know. That's my thoughts on that, because that is interesting. You know, you see that he had the chance to shoot him, but really had no reason to shoot him. And then he has her alienate Veronica and Jughead, which Jughead makes sense. He's a serpent, you know. Hal doesn't really like him. I mean, of course, he doesn't like FP, so I can understand Jughead. Veronica, maybe he just doesn't like her family, but then it's like, wouldn't you target her family? But her, I guess I can understand a little bit. But it's just, you know, Archie, yeah, he never, even when he was, like, working with her, he still did nothing. It wasn't until he, like, told him off on the phone that he was like, next thing you know, he was being buried alive. But like I said, I think Hal knew that the cops were coming, so he knew how this was going to end, and that's what he wanted. So yeah, I just want to put that little tidbit in there, because that's a lot of interesting stuff, you know, like they say the Black Hood storyline's over with, but it's like, it's so interesting, like, there's just little bits and pieces that are like, really, is it over with? Like, I don't know, is it over with? Because if it is really over with, then it's like, man, all these little potholes. It's like, I know I'm probably looking too much into this, but when you really look at it, it is kind of like confusing and interesting as to how stuff went down and as to how no one saw this person. Like, okay, this is also another thing that gets me. In the sheriff's station, how the fuck did Hal get in to where the jail cells are at and kill the teacher, the sugar man, like, and get away. Like, that's another thing that got me. You're like, there's no cameras in the sheriff's station. Like, you can just walk in, go right back to the back room where the jails are at, and you can just shoot someone and then just leave. Like, you know, that's another thing that really, like, boggles my mind, how he was able to kill this guy in a cell, and no one's seen this person, no one heard anything. Like, I know a silencer or whatever, but I don't even think it had a silencer. It went off. But even if it did, it's like, no one saw, like, even if there was a back way, there's no cameras, no one saw this person, there's no cop watching these people in their jail cells. Like, that's another thing that boggles me. How this Black Hood, how Cooper got into, also, he never, I don't remember him ever admitting to the sugar man. I guess I can't really remember. He probably did, but I just ain't remembering it. But it's like, I just don't understand how he got into the sheriff's station, killed the dude, and got out, like, in a black outfit, in a Black Hood. Like, how does no one see that? You're kidding me, right? Like, right? Isn't that just odd? Like, I understand it could be explained away, but can it? It's just very odd. Like, it's things like that that are making me think, like, come on, this Black Hood storyline can't be over with. Hal Cooper's story is not over with, so therefore, you know what, actually, I think, yeah, Hal Cooper's storyline isn't over with, but maybe him as the Black Hood, that storyline is over with, but Hal Cooper's storyline isn't over with, and for all we know, there could be more than one Black Hood. As we know, there is another Black Hood. It was Tall Boy who shot Fred, you know. But maybe there's another Black Hood who was working with Hal. Maybe Chick. Maybe Sheriff Keller. Maybe both. I don't know. I'm just saying it's interesting things, because Hal Cooper's story clearly is not done with. I think it has a lot more to go, especially with Betty in it, and hopefully Polly, because she's fucking crazy, and I think he would really like her. But yeah, I think maybe there could be more than one Black Hood. If Hal Cooper's storyline is going to continue, I feel like I don't know, the Black Hood storyline has to also continue. I don't know, like, him as the Black Hood is ended, but also, what about the little things? Like, I just want to know, like, Hal Cooper's storyline is still going. I know, because I know they're not going to just, he's gone, he's in prison, you know, because that would be kind of stupid just to end it like that. But the Black Hood storyline is over with. So maybe they're just saying his Black Hood storyline is over with. But if that's true, and his story is still going, but the Black Hood part of it's over with, then how are you going to explain all these little potholes? Like, is it ever going to be explained, or is it just something we just take as it is and go along with it? Like, oh, he just happened to get back there, he killed her, no one heard it. Like, but it's just interesting, you know? And then showing Chick sitting there creepy. Like, yeah, that could have been a way for the writers to make you think, oh, it was Chick, oh, it's Chick. But also, it could have been a way for the writers to give you a glimpse at, maybe Chick's in on this. Maybe there's something a little more with Chick and Hal. Like, you know, or Chick and the Black Hood, whatever you want to say. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Sorry that was so long and rambly, but I had a lot to say because these potholes, hopefully I'm not the only one. Like, I tweeted about this on Twitter. It just boggles my mind. Like, I don't know. I'm just super interested to see this Hal Cooper storyline continue. Betty Cooper involved. I hope Polly Cooper gets involved, because I feel like her and Hal would be kindred spirits, because she didn't seem to give a shit that her dad was murdering people. And yeah. Meanwhile, she ran away because she was afraid she was going to be murdered by the Black Hood. And yet, finding out it's her dad, it's like, oh well, we got to forgive him. It's like, okay. Like, you're so quick to just gloss over the fact that he's a murderer. But okay. Like, yeah, see, kindred spirits is what I'm saying. But yeah, so that's what I want to say about Riverdale. Hope you enjoyed.